2022 PFF graded the Browns 8th overall in pass rush, and we've already delineated that's all Myles Garrett. The Vikings had Danielle Hunter, Za'Darius Smith, and Dalvin Tomlinson, and they were 10th. The Browns got 2 of those 3 to pair with Myles Garrett. That should be a significant upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, Myles Garrett, he did a lot of the work, but actually going and deep diving, the Browns' defensive line generated a lot of pressure. They just couldn't put it all together. Myles did for the most part, but when Taven Bryan's your second leading sack guy at 3.5, that says that they just couldn't bring it all together. But the Browns' D tackles had 54 pressures combined last year between Elliott, Taven Bryan, Togiai, and Winfrey. You add Dalvin Tomlinson, Tristan Hill, who had 9 pressures in Arizona, and then Siaki Ika, who had 18 pressures at Baylor, not to mention Okoronkwo, who had 36 pressures, and Isaiah McGuire, who had 35 pressures at Missouri. Add in the fact that you added Tomlinson and Za'Darius Smith. The Browns' defensive front, with a new great addition of Jim Schwartz at defensive coordinator, I think this defensive front has the potential to not only be better than last year, but could be one of the better ones in the entire National Football League.
Yeah, they're going to have they're going to want to dominate the line of scrimmage. That's what the MO is going to be. And if you think about it, the secondary is good enough that you can put them on an island and say, okay, defensive line, don't give this guy very long. Go get him, because we're gonna have our secondary out there playing man-to-man.
Yeah, I think the whole defensive unit's going to be better. Even the linebackers, and people are going to say, well, this linebacking core does not look good on paper. I think last year they did not play well because they had to make up a lot of the dirty work, or have to clean up a lot of the stuff that the defensive front couldn't muster at the defensive line. So I think the linebackers are going to be better. Hopefully Anthony Walker's back 100%. We get Taki back 100% at some point this year. And I expect JOK to play better. I think he had to clean up a lot of the stuff, the defensive tackles and the defensive line minus Myles Garrett just did not perform well. So I expect the entire unit to play better, including the linebackers, because they get overlooked and a lot of people say that there's no talent there. I tend to disagree. In 2020 and 2021, they played really well as a unit. 2022 was just bad overall in that defensive group. So I would expect the whole unit to improve under Schwartz's leadership.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring up Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I am anxious to see how Jim Schwartz kind of unlocks him, and I think he is going to have a big year.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, he was a second-round talent for a reason. He was graded first round by a lot of the draft experts. He fell because of the heart issue. He had a good rookie year. I wouldn't call it great. And then last year he slipped a bit. I think injuries played a factor in that as well. But with good defensive coaching and a great defensive coordinator in Jim Schwartz, I expect him to get the best out of JOK.